I am Liam, the youngest in our family of 5. I am 12, and there is nothing better in the world than my big brother Aiden. He's 20 now, but it feels like yesterday when we used to play in the backyard. We've got a little sis who's 16 called Mia, and our parents Mark and Jennifer from Newcastle. We live in a tiny town, centered between rich Aussie scrub forests. Aiden was 18, but he had always been sweet around us and rarely got upset with what we said. I was too silly then, but signs are clear today. We were a happy, normal family until everything went horribly wrong on night last summer. It started with a dream. I dreamed that a faceless, hollow-eyed figure was stalking our house. I sweated awake and afraid, but I didn't say it. I should have. Aiden got a little weirder that night. He went off to the bush for hours and returned with a look that made me cold. One day, Dad gathered us together for a talk. Aiden needs to talk to you about something, he said, averting his eyes towards my brother. Aiden was white as a ghost and speaking in a voice that doesn't sound like of his own at all. I have a little secret. Aiden's voice reached. I was adopted when I was a baby. My real parents were different. They were skinwalkers. Mia rolled her eyes. Aiden, really? Come on, you're seriously not talking about that old legend? Aiden did, but he shook when she spoke. Skinwalkers are shape-shifting creatures. They practice dark magic and do evil things. I did not want to believe this, yet I feel it. It has been a process that is slow, but was real. Transformation. He was a respected him, but no one took him seriously that night. But I was very scared deep in me. Aiden was not in his room that night. It was late at night, and I could hear some strange noises outside us of something scratching his claws on wood, an animal likely howling. I went into my room and tried to wake Dad up, but he just told me I was having a bad dream and went back to sleep. The horror started after midnight. More than a foot outside the boiler room, I jumped off my bed at the sound of that front door creaking. I stood cautiously at my door, heart pounding. I walked out and saw Aiden in the hallway, but it wasn't right. His eyes were hollow and glowing yellow, and fur covered him in a pelt. You are not my brother? You only became a monster, I said. He attacked Mom and Mia first. Their screams echoed through the house, and I could hear the terrible sounds of claws ripping through their flesh. I wanted to run, but my legs felt like they doesn't have life in them. I hid under my bed, holding my breath. Dad and Aiden fought. There was growling and yelling. Dad was yelling, "Liam, you stay hidden." The struggle seemed to take forever. Once the noise finally stopped, I cautiously peek out. Aiden, now completely transformed into an ugly werewolf-like creature, standing over Mom and Mia, who were lying lifeless on the floor. Dad was hurt bad, but alive. Dad dragged me and we ran in the bush at full speed. And when as saw behind, Aiden showed up chasing us. We managed to stumble into a nearby camp cabin we used for camping. Dad locked the door. The fear in his eyes told me we weren't safe. We didn't sleep that whole night as our fear strikes us hard. The next morning, Dad told me we have to leave this place. Aiden had fled into the forest, and we needed to move fast if we were going to outpace him. We were running, dodging through the thick forest. We heard Aiden's growls in the distance, never quite in our view. We finally reached a ranger station and called for help, but I knew that the woods were now become Aiden's home. He had become a night creature, a creature of shadows that would never be truly gone. Dad said that Aiden had always been a threat, but the reality was something we never wanted to accept. Now, months later, it still haunts me down. The forest around our house had been turned from an area of adventure to a danger zone. Every shadow, every rustling noise sends me into a panic. Aiden is still out there, and he might have escaped with us, but I know the darkness will always be waiting for us. Forest is now his kingdom, and the legend of the Skinwalker has transformed from a tale into a fucking reality. I think Aiden still watches us from the shadows. His glowing eyes is a reminder for me that some monsters are real and they live among us.